welcome back. Today we're finally going to start working on my K10 project here that I have. This is an 86 and right now it has a 6.2 diesel and a SM465 4-speed transmission, and of course it's four-wheel drive. I think it has an NP208 transfer case. But what we will be doing is we're gonna remove the 6.2 diesel because something is wrong with it. I bought it as is, didn't run. The previous owner I started working on it, I saw the injector lines were loose and stuff like that. But anyway, we're gonna be swapping to this. This is nothing special, it's just a small block, 350, bone stock, nothing done to it at all. That we're gonna swap in because, I mean, I have nothing against 6.2 diesels. I think they're great engines, but I think it's a short bed. It's a little cool truck. It would be more fun with a gasoline engine than a diesel. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Just a little short walk around on this. It has some rust, but I got some big fender flares, so we can cut that out. I mean, I think the cab corners are obviously already changed one time. I got some rust in the bed, but I got some big bushwhackers that we're gonna put on this later on. And unfortunately, the worst thing on this truck is this isn't so bad, but on the other side, it's a lot worse. So the cab is pretty bad, but other than that, it's decent. The seat is a little torn, but I mean, what you're gonna expect is an old truck. It's an, I think it's a custom deluxe. You can see on the dash. So it has the vinyl floor and the vinyl, the rubber floor and vinyl seat. But we have the SM465, which is the best thing with this truck. And that's that. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna remove the hood so we can start pulling this engine. So that's what we're gonna do now. So here we have the engine as it sits right now. The intake and the injection pump is gone, obviously. And when I bought this, he said that it was a ran when parked deal. I bought this a long way from home and I took a transport on it home, so I never saw it. So it was a sight unseen purchase, and that's what I do most times. And when I got it home, I saw immediately that the intake was loose. It was just laying there, and when I started looking at, all the injector lines were loose and everything, so obviously there was something wrong. And I have tried a lot of things with this, and I have even tried to start or get it to fire by just shooting brake cleaner and solder fluid in the intake ports here, just to see if we have any life in it. But this engine is totally dead, makes no spark or ignition at all, makes no tendencies to wanting to run at all. So I think something is very wrong with this engine. And there's also something else, but I think that would probably be the transmission, because if you put this thing in gear and crank it over and the engine turns, but even if you have it in gear, the truck doesn't move. So I really hope the transmission isn't broken, but that's a big possibility. But we'll find that out. Also, the pulley damper on the front, that is a big problem on the 6.2s, is really bad on this also. And when that's bad, you break the crank. So I don't know, the crank may be broken, but we'll find that out. But anyway, just gonna remove everything so we can pull this out and start putting in the 350 instead. So I'm underneath the truck and loosening some stuff. I'm mostly done on the upside. And I saw this. It looks like the clutch fork is engaged. So hopefully the reason that the transmission is just spinning and something and the truck isn't moving in gear is because this is compressed and the flywheel disc is spinning, clutch disc I mean. So we'll get to that, but hopefully the transmission isn't broke. But I'm gonna keep on loosening stuff here, and then we can pull the engine. So everything should be removed now. So I'm gonna set this thing down here in the corner, so that we can get it free to remove this thing. And hopefully nothing is still connected, but we'll see that when we start pulling it. So there we have it out. We got hung up on the diesel filter and a bit on the brake booster. The 6.2 diesel is a little bit bigger than you might think, and also had cut the exhaust back here, but it wanted to hit the firewall, and I tried to cut it here and it was really tight. But we managed to get it out anyway, and it will probably be a lot easier with this little thing. But I'm gonna take some stuff from this, and then we can put it out of here. So I have the 6.2 put to the side here. I would like to have it removed from the garage, but it's a bit tight right now. And I've pulled out the 350. I have started cleaning the exhaust port and chasing all the threads and stuff, so it will be a lot easier than when we're putting it together. But I just realized something. I forgot to pick up new freeze plugs. I have them sitting at my local parts store, so I have to drive and pick those up. But before we put the engine in, after that, I'm going to change the clutch cylinders. Both of them, I have them new. I think the bottom one is stuck, and that's why we had the problem with the transmission. I really hope so. But I'm gonna change those. That will probably be a pain in the ass to bleed after that, but it doesn't work now anyway, so we have to do it. But that's the plan. Freeze plugs, change that, and then we slam this thing in here. Okay, so I drove to the parts store to pick up my freeze plugs, and unfortunately I had bought the wrong ones. So we won't be able to put in the engine today, but that's not a big problem because we got a lot of other stuff to do. I have changed the clutch cylinders, so both of those are new, and I think that's pretty good, because this is obviously something wrong with. I don't know really what has been wrong with the clutch system, but obviously something has been stuck. Someone has forced the pedal a lot, and this has bent. So really good, we changed that. Also the throwout bearing is really bad, really hard to turn, and fortunately I had a new one. It's over there. I got it with that clutch, but unfortunately that new clutch won't work because it's a smaller diameter than the truck stuff. And I was hoping to reuse the disc from the 6.2 engine. It will fit with the splines and so, but it's really, I don't think this is really good, but unfortunately I don't really have a much better. This has some meat left on it. The other one I have is this, and it's a lot better here, but it's a bit more worn. Also, this is a smaller diameter than that one, so that's too bad. This is what we have at home. This is what we have to work with. So that's that. Also, I'm putting on V-band flanges on the headers because I hate the original flanges. They always leak. So we're gonna weld those and put some header wrap on them so they look a little bit better. But that's what we're gonna work on here today, so we can pick up the freeze plugs tomorrow. And then we can put this thing in the truck. Okay, so it's been over 2 weeks since my last video because I decided that I wasn't going to use that clutch disc and pressure plate that I had, because I just felt like I will have to take it apart and do it again later. So I ordered a new complete kit, and I paid for extra fast shipping and everything, but FedEx here in Sweden didn't want to do that, so it took a very long time for them to deliver it, unfortunately. But now we have it, so we're gonna put that onto the engine and then it's ready to put in a truck. So I'm gonna bolt that, and then we can finally put it in here. So the engine is in. I didn't think it would be so much fun watching me shoving that thing in, but it's bolted to the transmission, it's bolted to the frame, so it's all in there. So now we just have to start bolting on some accessories, and then we can try and start this thing here in the truck. Okay, so we started to get some stuff on here. We have the starter, and I put in the distributor that I hopefully put in the right place. I hate putting in distributors because I always get them wrong, but hope I did it right. Also, we got the headers in, and now I just bolted them up without gaskets because I saw that it doesn't really fit. And first of all, I had to remove the bump stop for the front axle pumpkin, but I really don't think that's gonna be a problem because I'm never gonna bottom this thing out. It probably will be lifted, and that's not gonna be an issue. But we have one issue here with the header that is way too close to the rear hanger here. So I'm gonna try and put a strap here and try to force it over that way so that we can get some more space here. This one is a lot better clearance, so that one we don't have to do anything with, but I'm gonna move this over a bit, then we can put in the gaskets, and then we can keep working on the top side of the engine. So that worked out really great. Now we have enough clearance everywhere. So now we can go back up and work up there. The headers are all bolted in with gaskets and everything, so that's done. I connected this pink wire to the distributor and got the cap on. This is the old wire that went to the injection pump. Of course, we have to shorten it, but it should work. And what we have to do now is get a carburetor. This had a quadriet on it before, so we have a spread bore intake. I'm going to change to an aluminum manifold later, but unfortunately, since the clutch took so much time, I really don't have much left now, and this thing needs to get out of my garage because I have another car coming here that I have to work on. So for now, I'm gonna just put on this Edelbrock with adapter, and we can redo this later. But I know that this works. The carb that was on the engine when I got it didn't work very well. So hopefully this will work great. But I'm gonna bolt that up, and then we can actually do a temporary fuel system because the tanks is a mess. I checked the pipe here and it was just all sludgy. So we're not gonna use that. We're gonna do just a boat tank for now. But I'm gonna put on a carb, and then we can take it from there. So this is how far we're going to get right now. We had the fuel system and carb and everything. I would have liked to get in the radiator, but we have a problem here with the power steering pump because this engine came from a truck with vacuum booster, and this has hydro booster. And first of all, the hydro boost system has dual return lines, which isn't a big deal because it could just make a Y pipe or something, but it's not the same threads or sealing area on this, so it doesn't fit in this. So I have to make something, and to get all of that to work, maybe take the power steering pump from the 6.2 and modify it to fit in here would be the easiest thing to do, I think, but we have to do a lot of bracket stuff. But since I have to do that, I don't want to put in the radiator because it will take up a lot of space and will be much easier to work on it like this. So that's that. But now we're done with this. This should, in theory, fire up without any problem. I had this running in a donor truck a few weeks ago before I pulled it. So if I put in the distributor right, this should just fire to life. I've already pre-filled the carb, so it has fuel in it. So yeah, it should just go fire right off. That started really easy. that's great. Hopefully we'll pull some fuel from the tank so it keeps on running. Don't want to run it too long right now without the rad. So that worked out great. Unfortunately, I don't have any more time to do anything, no more improvements. Have to drive this thing out of here, and I tried to put it in gear, but it didn't work because I think there's still a lot of air in the clutch system, so I have to get that out. But that's basically what I have to do, then we can drive this thing out of here. So I've been trying a while to get the air out of the system, and I can't really get it to be any better. It's just on the edge of releasing. I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with the clutch fork or something. But I'm out of time, this needs to get out, so I'm just gonna drive it with the clutch I have. So that's about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do all of the stuff I wanted to do during this time, but I'm happy anyways that it's running and driving again. We can drive it in and out of the garage to work on it. Much easier than pushing it with the forklift. So next time we have to work on the power steering pump and put in the radiator, and also we have to do some brake work and see what's wrong with the clutch. It's really iffy to drive, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.